Hello everyone and welcome back to our History channel. Today we're going to dig into the historical events of July 23rd. If you enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment below. Our first stop takes us back to 1944, July 23rd, during World War II. The Soviet Red Army liberates the Majdanek concentration camp on the outskirts of Lublin, Poland. It is the first Nazi concentration camp to be liberated. Picture the wave of relief, of disbelief even, that must have washed over the prisoners as the Soviet Red Army arrived, liberating them from the nightmare of Nazi oppression. Fast forward to 1962. On July 23rd of that year, baseball legend Jackie Robinson is inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. He is the first player to break the color barrier in baseball when the Dodgers started him at first base on April 15, 1947. Now let's rewind a bit to 1940, a year when the world was already embroiled in the chaos of World War II. On this day, July 23rd, the United States, still clinging to a semblance of neutrality, took a stand against Soviet aggression. Acting Secretary of State Sumner Welles issued a declaration condemning the Soviet occupation of the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania. By necessity, the United States and the Soviet Union would soon become allies against Nazi Germany. On July 23rd, 1905, Germany, eager to secure its position in Europe, makes a bold move, offering an alliance to Russia. Both would come to the aid of the other if attacked, but the Tsar's political and economic advisors objected due to their alliance with France and France's historic tensions with Germany. This wasn't just any offer, it was their second attempt in a single year. The Treaty of Bjorko, as it was called, never came to fruition. We must now confront a darker chapter in human history. On July 23, 1942, in the midst of World War II, the Treblinka extermination camp, a place synonymous with unimaginable cruelty and suffering, began its horrific operations in Nazi-occupied Poland. Some 700,000 to 900,000 Jews were killed at Treblinka, more than any camp other than Auschwitz. From the horrors of Treblinka, we shift our focus to France in 1945. The trial of Philippe Pétain, a man who had once been hailed as France's national hero for his role in World War I, began on this day. Pétain is charged with treason for collaborating with the Nazi regime during World War II. He is convicted and dies in prison on July 23, 1951. Let's move on to July 23rd, 1974, to Greece, a nation struggling under the weight of military dictatorship. But on this day, a glimmer of hope emerged. The junta, led by Colonel Georgios Papadopoulos, crumbles, with former Prime Minister Konstantinos Karamanlis leading a new government and ushering in democracy. Papadopoulos' government had collapsed under pressure from Turkey's invasion of Cyprus. The year is 1944, July 23rd. The tide of World War II has turned decisively against Nazi Germany. Facing mounting losses and dwindling resources, Adolf Hitler, in a last-ditch effort to salvage a failing war, makes a fateful decision. Heeding the advice of Joseph Goebbels and Albert Speer, he creates the office of Reich Plenipotentiary for the total war effort, essentially handing over the reins of the German war machine to Goebbels. Our journey takes us back to July 23, 1885, a year that marked the end of an era in American history. Ulysses S. Grant, the Civil War hero who had guided the Union to victory and later served as the nation's 18th president, dies of esophageal cancer in Mount McGregor, New York on this day. He was 63. Our final stop on this historical journey takes us back to 1914, July 23rd, to a world on the brink of disaster. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria in Sarajevo had sent shockwaves through Europe. On July 23rd, Austria-Hungary, fueled by grief and a thirst for retribution, delivered an ultimatum to Serbia, demanding access to investigate the assassination. Serbia denies the request. Shortly after, Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia, starting World War I. And that brings us to the end of our whirlwind tour through history. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the liberation of Majdanek to the fall of Philippe Pétain, from the legacy of Jackie Robinson to the outbreak of World War I. History, as you can see, is rarely neat or straightforward. Thanks for joining us.